Welcome back, Math 098, Chapter 5, Section 4, and we'll be doing more of the same stuff. And you've actually done multiplying monomials before, and as a reminder, you just multiply your coefficients and add your exponents. Just make sure that the bases are the same as you add your exponents. And so as I'm looking at part A, 3 times 2 is 6. And then 4 plus 2 is 6. So 6x to the 6. So just moving forward to the next one, and negative times a negative is positive. 5 times 8 is 40. I'm only combining m's with m's. So as you add 4 plus 1, it's m to the 5th, n squared, because both these are 1s, and then p to the 8th. 3 plus 5 is 8. And we're ready for the next thing, which is just distributing. So nothing really new for you, especially since you passed Algebra 1. Algebra 2, 3 times 7 is 21, x squared, and then 3, well, anything times 1 is just that thing. So it just makes perfect sense. So as a reminder, this is the distributive property. Just make sure that when you're asked to distribute to a trinomial, you end up with a trinomial. So we're looking at negative 15 a to the 4th plus 30 a to the 3rd minus 25 a squared. Notice that the negative changes the signs of each term. All right, now I wish I wrote just a little bit smaller as I distribute here. Negative 5m to the 3rd, n to the 5th, minus 2m squared, n to the 4th. I knew I was going to run out of space. Plus, because the negative times negative is positive. 5m squared, n to the 3rd. There we go. So if I could write that on one line, I would. So as we move on to the next thing, when you have two binomials, you just have to distribute each individually. And then 2x squared plus 3x, and then distribute the 5 to each term. So plus 10x plus 15. And you probably notice that there's like terms. That's why it says simplify if possible. Can't combine the 2x squared together with anything, but you can combine the 3x and 10x to get this answer. Some of you are probably familiar with FOIL, the first, outer, inner, and last. A lot of math books are trying to get away from FOIL, but this is the same thing. And the reason why they're getting away from FOIL is, what do you mean? I mean, there's the first and outer, but there's definitely no 3x times that. So that's why some textbooks are getting away from it. So hopefully you remember doing this from before. What might be new for you is sometimes when I distribute this negative 1 in here, I actually I line them up. So then when I add like terms, it's really easy for me to just see, oh, there's nothing like with 3x cubed. I'm hitting all of my x squareds together, my x's together, and then that minus 2 has nothing like with it. So there's definitely a way to do the problem. And then there's also this other way that you may have learned before, and it's all about putting things into a box and then combining like terms. So what they do is they rewrite the problem this way. I'm just giving you another option. You don't have to do the problem this way. Notice that this side is 3x squared plus 2, and then on top is going to be x squared minus 4x, and then minus 5. So then when I multiply 3x squared times x squared, I get 3x to the 4th. And then here is minus 12x cubed, 3 times negative 4, and there's 3 x's, minus 15x squared. And then down here I have 2x squared. I have minus 8x, because I'm multiplying 2 by everything on top, and minus 10. And this time there's only two like terms, these two. So again, you don't have to do the problem this way. I'm just giving you another option. So then your final answer is 3x to the fourth minus 12x cubed minus 13x squared, because that's negative 15 plus 2, minus 8x minus 10. All right. I feel like I'm breezing through this, but I feel confident that you can do this. So go ahead and pause the video and try to do some of these on your own. See if you get the right answer, because as you get really good practice, you can probably do this in your head. X squared plus 3x minus 5x would be negative 2x, and then negative 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. So if you want to use FOIL, go for it. If you want to distribute, go for it. If you want to do that box method I just showed you, go for it. You know, you'd set it up as x and negative 5, x and 3, and you'd get the same answer. So again, with a lot of practice, you might get really good at this, like 6x squared for your first term. You might look at your last as plus 35. But then in the middle, you know, the outside, that's negative 21x. The inside is minus 10x. You know, you might need to show that scratch work to figure out that that middle piece is minus 31x. Whatever you need to do to be successful, it's up to you. All right, so same thing with this. Let me just show the way I typically do is I just rewrite it because I hate making mistakes. And then in the middle would be minus 12x squared y. Negative 3 times y is negative 3y squared. So my final answer is 8x to the fourth minus 10, because I can combine the middle terms, minus 3y squared. There you go. So again, feel free to pause and make sure you understand and go back. As I work through the next ones, notice there is a shortcut. I just don't like teaching the shortcut. The students tend to forget it. They just memorize it and then they forget it after the test. So I just encourage students to remember that x plus 6 squared is the same thing as x plus 6 times x plus 6. So when you go to FOIL it, you do get the x squared and you do get 36, because 6 times 6 is 36. But a lot of students forget to have the 6x plus 6x in the middle, which is 12x. If you're encouraged to learn the shortcut, the book has a shortcut. The book teaches a shortcut. The moral is, let me go ahead and quickly explain, is this middle piece is double the x times the 6, each piece. So if you really wanted to learn the shortcut, like the answer to the letter B is going to be x squared minus 4x and then plus 4. But again, I prefer teaching it as x minus 2 times x minus 2, and then you can actually FOIL it and see why is it minus 4x in the middle instead of memorizing. But that's just me. So again, letter C, if I were doing this, I would go ahead and rewrite it. 3x plus 5y. 3x plus 5y. So I can actually see the 9x squared. The outside is 15xy. The inside is 15xy. That is 30xy. And 5y times 5y is 25y squared. So I can let you pause the video and work through the next one. And I'm running out of space, so I'm going to try and squeeze it right here. It'll be 9x to the fourth. The outside would be negative 24xb, x squared b. The inside would be negative 24, so that's negative 48 x squared b, and then plus 64 b squared. Sorry, I ran out of space for you. Again, feel that if you need to pause and rewatch it, rewind, go for it. There's another shortcut with some problems like these ones. I don't like teaching the shortcut. If you FOIL it, you'll get the right answer. But what you'll notice with this is you have plus 3x and then minus 3x immediately following it. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. And these things cancel each other out. You could write plus 0x in between, but 0 times anything is 0. And adding 0 is not going to change the value of it. So again, instead of teaching you that shortcut, I think it's beneficial for you to actually see that the outside is minus 10a, the inside is plus 10a, and then the last term would be minus 25. Well, there's no point in writing plus 0a in between. So here's your final answer on letter B. So as you notice this pattern, feel free to do the shortcut. There's a fraction right here. Where the shortcut is, you have a plus and a minus, and the two terms are identical. So what's going to happen is the outside and inside terms will cancel. So you only have to do the first and last. So in FOIL, the outside and inside terms cancel each other out. So all you have to do is the first and last. This is the only time you can do this. Otherwise you have to FOIL. So same thing with this one. You might notice that shortcut. The outside and inside will cancel because a cubed and a cubed are identical. 4b cubed and 4b cubed are identical. So your answer will be a to the 6. The outside and insides will cancel. 4 squared is 16. B to the 6. Sorry, my b's look like 6's. There's a b right here. Let me work through this one, and then I'm going to stop. Okay, because as a reminder, and then I'll finish this with the next video. Being squared means that you're multiplying by itself. And really, we don't even need parentheses. I don't know why the book puts in parentheses, probably to try and confuse you. But you can just distribute that 2 to everything. So we're looking at 4 plus 6x minus 2y. But then distribute this 3x to everything. So I'm looking at another 6x. And then, let's see, plus 9x squared. Trying to line up like terms, that's what I'm doing. And then minus 3xy. And now distribute this negative y to everything. So I have another minus 2y. And then minus 3xy. And negative y times y is y squared. And I wish I gave myself just a little bit more room so I can combine like terms and just write it right here, but I have to write off to the side now. So I have 4 plus 12x minus 4y plus 9x squared minus 6xy plus y squared. And yeah, if I gave myself more room, you'd be able to see everything. How about I'll go ahead and do this, because as you notice, if you were to distribute just like I just mentioned, a lot of things, nice things will happen. You have 9x squared, you'd have minus 3xy plus 15x, and now distribute that negative y to each term. So we'd have another minus 3xy minus, or sorry, plus, because the negative times the negative is positive, y squared minus 5y. But then we need to distribute this minus to each term. So we're looking at a minus 15x plus 5y, and then minus 25. And lo and behold, you'll notice, I think you'll notice, 15x minus 15x cancels. There's another canceling, minus 5y plus 5y. And so what we are left with is 9x squared minus 6xy plus y squared minus 25 as your leftovers. And this is a good place to stop, and I can finish the notes in the next video.